Jason Miller, and Fox News host Kimberly Guilfoyle. For more now, we're joined by CNN senior media correspondent and host of Reliable Sources, Brian Stelter. This is sort of unlike other press secretaries, given how open and honest Donald Trump has been about how he feels about the press and members of the media. But this is such an important position, and especially now. What is it that he's looking for in a press secretary?
Yeah, this person is a very public face of an incoming administration. You think about Robert Gibbs 8 years ago behind the White House podium. Now Josh Earnest is the press secretary, every day defending President Obama's policies. It looks like Sean Spicer is the favorite for this job. We've been expecting the announcement this week. Could come later today. Spicer's been the press secretary and chief strategist of the Republican National Committee for quite some time. Very well known among reporters and among television viewers for his many appearances. I have to wonder sometimes when you see people like Spicer and Conway on TV in the past few weeks, if they've been trying out for these jobs on television, because we know Trump watches so much cable news. He's paying a lot of attention to who he sees on TV. And we've seen that in some of his other choices as well. Monica Crowley, K.T. McFarland, Ben Carson. These are cable news regulars who he has brought into his administration. So Spicer, the favorite for press secretary. Jason Miller, a likely contender for communications director, thinking about long-term strategy. But you mentioned Kimberly Guilfoyle, which is a very interesting piece of this. Reports this week that Guilfoyle has been making a play for one of these jobs or for some sort of communications role with Trump. Maybe not press secretary, but something that would be in the mix. Guilfoyle is a co-host on the show The Five. She's been very supportive of Trump publicly. For now, she's still on Fox. They haven't sidelined her while she's been essentially trying out for this job.
How could this press secretary potentially be different than what we've seen in the past? I mean, we've already heard that there is talk of perhaps doing away with the daily White House press briefing. That would be a big change. We know that talking to the press is not Donald Trump's favorite thing to do. I think that's probably putting it mildly. So how do we anticipate access even changing?
It's been about 148 days since Trump held a full-fledged press conference, meaning rows of seats, a podium up in the center, a long question-answer session. He's had a couple of moments, like yesterday, where he'll briefly answer questions from reporters that are shouted to him. He's done a couple of interviews, but you're right, he has rarely been speaking with the press since he was elected, and the press conference thing actually goes back to July. So he says now in January there will be that press conference setting, but clearly they're going to be playing by a different rule book, whether it's Sean Spicer, Jason Miller, others who are working with him on his press strategy. Ultimately, it's Donald Trump, who is his own best press secretary, doing what he feels is right day to day. I was talking to Josh Earnest about this. He's about to step down as press secretary. He said what's most important in this job is knowing where the president's head is at all times. We're going to air that interview on my show on Sunday on Reliable Sources. He says you have to know where the president's head is at. And with Donald Trump, that can be very difficult.
Or not. You just go to the Twitter feed.
Or you go to...
And maybe then that gives you a sense.
That's right.
It'll be
Trump
interesting.
is his own best press secretary.
I look forward to seeing that interview this weekend.
Thanks.
All right, Brian, thank you.